Here's the story for you. You look at this face, this map of wrinkles and
Where to begin? Perhaps with this photograph. It all started such a long time ago.
wore this groove into my finger. She holds up her hand, looking at the ring. It's all one story, you see. You can't separate the chapters. The book wouldn't make sense. Let me show you. I wasn't always this old. Once I was a girl made of longing and curiosity. My name was Ilara, and the world felt like a secret everyone was keeping from me. My body, it was a mystery that was just beginning to unfold. It would hum with strange new electricity. A look from a boy at the market could make my stomach feel like a flock of startled birds. We weren't taught about it, this feeling. It was just there, a secret, powerful language you weren't supposed to speak. My mother would tell me, "A husband will unlock the door to all of that, Ilara. Before that, the door stays closed, locked, bolted." And I believed her, for a while. I thought desire was a key you were given on your wedding night. But the body doesn't wait for ceremonies. It has its own calendar. I remember Raj. He was the nephew of our neighbor. He came to stay for the summer. He was all long limbs and laughter, with eyes the color of strong tea. We were just 17. It was innocent, mostly, stolen glances while drawing water from the well, the accidental brush of his hand against mine when reaching for a mango. That single touch, it would send a current right up my arm, all the way to my chest. It was the first time I realized this body of mine wasn't just for working and eating and sleeping. It was for feeling, for that kind of feeling, a delicious, terrifying ache. One afternoon, during a sudden, violent monsoon storm, we were caught in the old hayloft. The rain was a deafening roar on the tin roof. The world outside vanished. And there, in the warm, dusty dark, smelling of wet earth and hay, he kissed me. A long pause. A soft smile touches her lips. Oh, that kiss. It wasn't like the stories. It wasn't a gentle peck. It was a question and an answer at all once. It was clumsy and sweet and tasted of the rain on his lips. My whole body sang. It was a song I didn't know I knew the words to. We didn't go any further. We were too scared, too proper, even in that hidden world. But in that moment, I understood. The door wasn't locked. It had never been locked. I just hadn't known how to find the handle. That summer ended. Raj went back to his city, and the letters we promised to write faded into nothing. But he left me with a gift, the knowledge that I was alive, truly, vibrantly alive. Then the matchmaking began. My parents were kind, but the process felt like being a prized goat at the fair. Boys would come with their families, and I would be paraded out with tea and sweets. They would look at me, assess me. I felt like an object. My desires, my secret self, had no place in that room. Until Vikram. He was different. He was older, 25, a school teacher. He didn't just look at me, he looked into me. He asked me what books I liked to read. He wanted to know my thoughts on a new poem in the newspaper. He saw a person, and I saw him, a quiet strength, a gentle humor in his eyes. He wasn't the dashing hero from a film. He was real, solid, safe. The desire I felt for him was different from the stormy passion I'd felt for Raj. It was deeper, a slow, steady warmth like the sun after a long winter. It was a desire born of trust, of admiring. The night before our wedding, I wasn't afraid. I was curious. I remembered the girl in the hayloft, and I felt like I was finally going to get the answer to the question that kiss had posed. She shifts in her chair, a distant look in her eyes. Our first night as wife and husband. The room was filled with the scent of jasmine garlands we'd worn. He was so gentle, so achingly gentle. He was nervous too. That surprised me. It made me love him more. He didn't just take. He asked with his eyes. He explored with his fingertips like I was something precious, something to be learned. It wasn't the fireworks the poets write about, not at first. It was discovery, the geography of another person, the softness of skin, the weight of a hand, the sound of a sharp intake of breath in the dark. And yes, there was passion, a different kind, a passion that grew from knowing someone, from the intimacy of being completely, utterly seen and unashamed. That was the true secret they never told me. The physical act wasn't just an act, it was a conversation that could say, "I'm sorry," or "I love you," or "I'm here," without a single word. We learned each other over the years. We made mistakes. There were times of frustration, of tiredness, of bodies that didn't always cooperate with the heart's intention. After the children were born, everything changed. My body felt like public property, first for the babies, then for the endless demands of a young family. There were long stretches when the conversation went quiet. We were two people managing a household, passing each other in the hallway, falling into bed exhausted. The desire was still there, I think, just buried under a mountain of duty. But Vikram, he was patient. He'd bring me a cup of tea in the evening, his fingers lingering on mine just a moment longer than necessary. He'd look at me across the dinner table as the children argued, and his eyes would say, "I remember you, I remember us," and slowly, quietly, the conversation would start again. A touch here, a kiss there, a shared look that held the memory of 1,000 nights. As we grew older, it changed again. The frantic pace of youth gave way to a deep, abiding tenderness. His hands, gnarled with arthritis, would still reach for me in the dark, not always for passion, but for connection, to feel the warmth of another body, the rhythm of a familiar breath. It was a comfort, a reassurance. I am still here. You are still here. We are still us. When he was dying, last year, the last few weeks, he couldn't speak much, but he would hold my hand, just hold it. His thumb, so weak, would trace small circles on my skin, and that tiny movement, it held 50 years of conversation. It was the boy in the hayloft, the nervous groom, the exhausted father, the patient lover, the old dying man. It was the final whispered word in our long, beautiful, complicated dialogue. And now this is the only story that matters, the one you're living. Don't let anyone tell you it has just one chapter. It has as many as you have the courage to write. She leans her head back against the chair, a look of profound peace on her face. The afternoon sun continues to warm the room, illuminating the long, full life held within its quiet walls.